one non-static member, that is test. And here always remember
first and what executes next, using the numbering system.
sorry. Okay. Let us see here. I have three classes. One is class A, class B, and class C. Three classes I have. Okay, in class A, I have one method. Okay, in class A, I have one non-static method. I have one non-static method. In class A, I have one non-static method called test A. In that non-static method, I am printing what I system.out.println by using. Okay, there is one class called A. In that we have one non-static method test A, and we are printing. That's it. There is one more class. Okay, there is one more class called B. Okay, there is one more class called B. Okay, I want to use inheritance concept. So I want to acquire the properties of A class in B class. Solution is what? You have to use a keyword called extends. Extend A class, so that A class properties will comes to B class. How? We'll see that. I'll show you. Okay, that's all. Okay, B is an empty class. Intentionally I have taken B class as an empty class. I cannot execute this B class, or I cannot execute this A class. There is no main method. Not to execute, main method should be there. Okay. So I have taken one more class called C. In that I am using one main method, public static void main. Okay, B is an empty class. Okay, is it possible to create an object of empty class? Yes, you can create an object of empty class. That is what we are doing in line number 6. Okay, and then if I put, okay, after that, see here, if I put B1 dot, I am getting the access of test A method, but there is no method in B class because of this super keyword. Because of there is one magic keyword, that is extends. Because of this keyword, okay, you will get the properties of A class, parent class. You can access the parent class properties in the B class. So that's the reason here. If I put B1 dot, okay, test A, okay, that is the meaning of what? Inheritance. Acquiring the properties of what? Parent class in the subclass is called as what? Inheritance. Okay, I'm calling that method. So if I execute this program, see here, if I click on this run button, it is going to print what? I. Okay, it is going to print what? I. Even though there is no test A method in B class, from where it is coming from? It is coming from A class. Okay, it is coming from A class. See, it is printing I. Okay, it is coming from A class. And here I am calling, okay, whenever you create an object, okay, you have to use constructor along with the new keyword. Means you are calling the constructor. Okay, but there is no constructor here. Do you have constructor here? No. Compiler will going to put like this. Compiler will do it. Okay, every class will have constructor. If you don't put, compiler will do that. Okay, and then because of this extend keyword, as soon as you put extends, okay, compiler will put super here. Compiler will put what? Super. Like this it is going to put. Okay. The job of super statement, okay, and condition for the super statement is what? It should be always first statement inside the constructor. These are all basics Java. Super statement, who is going to put? Compiler. You can also put. If you don't put, compiler will do. Okay, but it should be what? First statement inside the constructor. What is the job of super statement? What is the job of super statement? It is going to call parent class constructor. Who is the parent class? A is the parent class. It is going to call this constructor A of. Here also, compiler will create one constructor like this. And here also it will put any extend keywords, or who is going to put? Compiler will do, because here it okay, inside the object, inside the class. We do have, okay, sorry, it is going to initialize non-static members inside the object. Okay, this constructor, then it will comes back non-static member, that is STA method. So it is
Bye.
Right, am I audible?
Hi and hello.
Bye, sir.
How many of you say bye and how many of you say bye?
Hi and bye.
Once again repeat the question.
Hi and bye. First hi and then bye.
How will you print? No, it will print only one. No, it will not print both. See here. I have two classes.
Bye, sir.
Okay, one is class A. In class A, there is one method called test A. Okay, in that it is printing I. Okay, then there is one more method. I am using what overriding concept, method overriding. What do you mean by method overriding? Same name with same signature, different implementation.
Bye itself.
Bye.
Now,
Only bye because somebody would.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Sir, what about super class, sir?
If there is.
what about super
It's
state?
overridden, right?
How
It's overridden.
we'll see that now. We'll see that now. Okay. First, okay. The answer is output is by. The reason is we'll see that now. Why it is printing by void test A. Let me execute the program. We'll see what is output. What is output? It is printing by. Why by? We'll see that. Okay. First, it will load stack area. Then it will load heap area. Then JVM will get loaded. Then class loader will loads. Okay. Class loader will loads the class along with the static block. Do we have any static block? No. Okay. Along with the main method, class loader class will be loaded inside the static pool. Okay, then main method will comes for the execution. When the main method will comes for the execution, okay, when the main method will comes for the execution, what is there in the main method in the class C? Okay, we do have one statement VB1 is equal to new B half. First, it will execute this left hand side. Okay, means okay, it is creating a reference variable and it is holding the new value in the beginning. Okay, then it will execute this right hand side. Okay, in the right hand side there are two things. One is new keyword and one more is constructor B. The job of new keyword is to create an object of type what? Okay, since we are using B class constructor, so it is going to create an object of type B. That is what we have put in this diagram. It is going to create an object of type B. Then let me show you. Okay, that is what it is going to do it. Okay, since okay, it is going to create an object of type B. Okay, then after that we are calling B class constructor. Do we have a constructor in B class? I don't see any constructor in the B class. Who is going to create it? Yes, we do have the constructor in the B class. That is, composer is going to be created. Even though if you are not able to see, B class will be constructor. Now you tell me whether it will execute B class constructor first, or it will execute A class constructor, then it will come to B class constructor.
B classes. Execute A class.
Now what I am asking is whether it will execute the B class constructor completely first, or it will execute A class constructor first, then it will comes to B class constructor. Then it will execute the remaining, and then it will execute B class constructor.
Yeah, the later one.
First thing is because of super keyword, okay?
Yeah.
Because of the super keyword, first it will execute the A class constructor. It will go to A class constructor, it will execute A class constructor, then it will comes to B class constructor, then it will execute B class constructor. Okay. What is the job of A class constructor? Okay, it will be like this, guys. The job of A class, okay, here we are calling the constructor in C class, here constructor. We have one statement called super of, so it will go to parent. It is going to what initialize STM method. Along with inside that, it is going to use what I will be loaded. I will be loaded. Okay, it is going to load one non-static method inside the object. Okay, who is the non-static method? What is the name of the non-static method? TestA. It is going to load TestA method inside the object. Okay, in the TestA method we are printing I. So it is loading I. Now that's all. Only one method will be loaded inside the object. Now it will comes to B class. It will execute B class constructor. What is the job of B class constructor? Okay, the job of B class constructor is to initialize non-static member inside the object. The job of A class constructor is done. It is initialized. Non-static member of B class constructor. So it is going to initialize TestA method inside the B class. Okay, but since the method name is same, if method name is different, then it will assume that the method name is testB. Then it will do like this, testB. Okay, it will do like this, testB method. Let's say, okay, it is in place of I will be loaded. Okay, because of TestA method present in A class constructor. First one is the example for.
Conference will now be recorded.
Okay, only one recording they have added. Okay, one video. Okay, I can see only one video. Okay, I'll check with this. Okay. Today only, please, before leaving the class, anyone please try to remind me. I will speak to Skilldery admin team and then second one is object. Why object is required? Anyone? Why do we create an object, or why object is required?
To access instance variable or instance class method. Sorry.
Okay. To access non-static methods. Okay. To access non-static members. Okay. It can be a method or it can be a variable or anything. Next one is static and non-static. Static and non-static methods. Okay. Next one is static and non-static. Okay. To access non-static members. Okay. It can be a method or it can be a variable or anything. Next one is static and non-static. Static and non-static methods. Or anything. Next, to access non-static methods. Okay. To access non-static members. Okay. It can be a method or it can be a variable or anything. Next one is static and non-static. Static and non-static methods. Okay. Static and non-static methods. looping statements. Looping statements for each. Enough. And switch. Our list also we are going to use. Please prepare this topics. Methods of string class. Methods of string class. String is a class. Okay, string is a class, guys. Always remember, string is a class. Oops concepts. Oops concept like inheritance, polymorphism, okay, abstraction, and one example. Ready with this, okay. These are the concepts I am going to use. Okay, these are the concepts which is required for us. Okay, this is required for Selenium, guys. The last class.
Overriding and upcasting.
Typecasting.
I've done upcasting. Upcasting is done.
Yeah, upcasting.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone please push me the last program. Please give me. Even in for loop and for each loop, enhanced for loop, you should know enhanced for loop. For loop and for each loop, you should be good in that. What do you mean by polymorphism? What do you mean by compile time polymorphism? What do you mean by runtime polymorphism? And then today, if possible, I will try to cover up what do you mean by code optimization. Okay, these are the topics I will be covering it up. If possible, today only I will try to show you how to install Selenium, or tomorrow we will see how to install Selenium. Okay, my actual class starts either by today or tomorrow. My Selenium class will start from tomorrow. Actual class. Okay. Now we'll see what do you mean by compile time polymorphism. Okay, and what do you mean by runtime polymorphism. These two things. Okay, in order to achieve runtime polymorphism, three things are required. Always remember. Okay, one is inheritance, method overriding. These two things, okay. In order to achieve runtime polymorphism, three things are required. Always remember. Okay, one is inheritance, method overriding, and upcasting. These three things are required. Okay, few people will tell that Method overriding is an example for runtime polymorphism. No. Yes, for compile time polymorphism, method overloading is enough. Okay, for runtime polymorphism, these three things are required. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, let me. Okay, before that, what we have done in the last class, I have one class A. I have one class A. I have taken one class A. In that one method is there. Okay, one method called testa method. Okay, in that I am printing what? In that I am printing I. Okay, in that I am printing I. Okay, I have one more class called B. Okay, B is the child class and A is the parent class. So I am going to use one word called extends A. Okay, so that A will becomes what? Parent class and B is the child class. Now I want to override this method. For that I am going to use same method name along with, okay, with the same signature. What do you mean by signature? You know, okay, type of the parameters, okay, or number of parameters or sequence of the parameters should be same. Here I am going to write by. Okay. Now I cannot execute this class. I cannot execute either any of this class. So I am going to use one. Okay, I'm going to use one more class. In that I'm using one main method. Okay, one main method I'm using method. Okay, it's a non-static. Shiva Mayuri, you guys have. I will not be telling. Okay, B class. Okay, what is the output? Yes. It is the example for what method overriding. Okay, I have overridden the method. Now, if I have to call that method, there are two options. One is I can create an object of B class and call it. I can create an object of A class and call it. If I create an object of B class, okay, what is the output? Anyone, what is the output you tell me? If I create an object of B class and then if I call that method, testa method, okay, what is the output? Okay, what is the output? By or by? Huh?
By. By.
Output is by. Everyone knows this. Output is by. Okay, everyone knows this. There is no. Okay. Now, if let me upcache the object. Let me upcache the object. You know what do you mean by upcasting? Okay, upcasting means assigning the okay child class. Okay, child class object to the parent class reference variable is called as what? Upcasting. Upcasting means okay assigning the child class object to the parent class reference variable is called as upcasting. Now either instead of like this, what I will do, A1 is equal to new B of. This is called as upcasting. Now A1 dot testa method. Okay, what is the output? What is the output now? What is the output? I or by? By. But again now also it is the output is by. Okay, output is by. Okay. We should not look at the object. Okay, sorry, we should not look at the class which we are assigning to. Okay, we should look at the object, guys. What object we are creating. Okay, when I execute this program, okay, okay, what happens in the backend? Okay, first, okay, see here, first stack area will be loaded. given one number, then heap area will be loaded, then JVM gets loaded, then class loader loads the static block along with the class. Do we have any static block or static members? No. We have only class. That is class. Okay, which class we are executing? Are we executing A class, B class, or C class? We are executing C class. So C class will be loaded along with the main method. Okay, where it will be loaded? It will be loaded inside the static pool. Okay, it will be loaded inside the static pool. Inside the static pool. Okay. Okay, next class will be loaded. That is the fifth one. Sixth one. Okay, then main method will comes for the execution. What is there in the main method? Okay, what is there in the main method? Okay, there is one statement called A1 is equal to new B of. First left hand side will be executed. Okay, left hand side will be executed. What is there in the left hand side? A1. Here A1 is a reference variable. A1 is a reference variable of type A. Okay, in the beginning it will be holding the address null. Okay, then right hand side we are having two things. One is new keyword and one more is the constructor. The new keyword. Okay, the job of new keyword is to load the object. Okay, we should create an object. Okay, in the heap area. What is the object we are creating? We are creating an object of type B. Will be created object. Okay, and it is going to assign an address at the rate keyword. This is what will be done by the new keyword. Then we have one thing called constructor, B of. The job of constructor, okay, the job of constructor is to load the non-static members inside the object. The job of constructor is to load the non-static member inside the object. Do we have any non-static members? Yes. How many? There are two. First, okay, because of super keyword, first A class constructor will be loaded. So I will be loaded first. I have written it inside the back with the back end of the into mod. Then since the method name is same, with the same signature, it will load same method, okay, with different signature called by in the same place. Okay, and that address has been assigned to reference variable A1. That's the reason when you call A1.testA method, okay, when A1.testA method, A1 means address, holding reference variable, holding the address. Dot means go to that address, go to that content and call this testA method for execution. When testA method will comes for execution, by will be executed. Okay, it will print by. This is how it will happens in the backend. Okay, holding reference variable, holding the address. Dot means go to that address, go to that content and call this testA method for execution. When testA method will comes for execution, by will be executed. Okay, it will print by with different signature called by in the same place. Okay, and that address has been assigned to reference variable A1. That's the reason when you call A1.testA. For an example, I want I, and you have to create an object of A class. That's it. In interview, they may ask you, no, I want I. What is the solution? A1 is equal to new A of. Now A1 dot test
B.
A1 dot test A. Now what is the output? Output is what? I. Okay, now we will called by in the same all this testA method for execution. When testA method will comes for execution, by will be executed. Okay, it will print by. This is how it will happens in the backend. Okay. Any doubts? Do you want me to repeat anything in this? Okay. Now let me proceed for so more than one method having same name. More than one method with the same name is called as polymorphism. In polymorphism, there are two types. One is compile time polymorphism and one more is runtime polymorphism. Okay, compile time polymorphism and one more is runtime polymorphism. We will see what you mean by compile time polymorphism. Okay, we will see what you mean by compile time polymorphism. Okay, let me create one. method without any what here I am printing class. Let me delete. Okay, let me take a class. There is one class here. Okay, there is one class static test here method without any what here I am printing same thing. There is one class here, now one non-static method. In that there is one STA method where it is printing I. That's it. There is one more method in the same class. Let me take one more method, okay, with the same method name, but here it is going to take an argument of type integer, guys, of type int. Okay, of type int. SOP. Let me print I. Okay, there are two methods with the same name but different signature. Okay, first STA method is not going to take any arguments. Another STA method where it is going to take int as an argument. Okay, I am printing the same int. That's it. Let me create a class. Another STA method where it is going to take int as an argument. Okay, first STA method is not going to take any arguments. Another B. Let me create one more class B. Okay, let me create one more class B. Now I want to call any one of this method. You tell me how to call. Public static void main. I want to call any one method. You tell me how to call.
Using class name.
Anyone tell me.
Create a method of class A and call the.
Yes, correct. Create a object of class A. A1 is equal to, because what kind of methods these two are? Non-static method. How to call non-static method? To create an object and with the help of reference variable we are using that. A dot, or let me use non-static method. How to call non-static method? To create an object and with the help of reference variable we are using that. A dot, or let me use A1. A1 dot test A. Okay. A1 dot test A method. A1 dot test A method. Okay. As soon as you type this method, one second, let me use paint for this. Okay, there is one class A. Okay, there is one class A. In the class A, there are two methods. One is test A method without taking any arguments, and one more is there is one more class. Okay, there is one more. There is one more method with the same name but different signature, where it is going to take int as an argument. There is in B class. Okay, I want to call A1 dot test A. This is called as calling statement. Okay, we are calling the method, so it is called as calling statement. Who is the called statement? Okay, the void test A is the call statement. One second, give me a second. Okay. Now, as soon as you type this statement in Eclipse will what will do? It is going to link with this statement. Okay, it is going to link the compiler or not. Shall I pass class type as an argument to a method?
Yes, if the return type is a class.
Yes. No. Whatever the return type, it doesn't care. Yes, we can use. We can pass any type. It is not only only data type I can pass it. In Java, I can pass any type, non-primitive data types also I can pass it as an argument. I am passing, okay, here what I will do, a1 dot, here I am calling the method called sta method. It's little bit challenging part. I will tell you why I have taken this. Now I cannot execute any of this class because there is no main method. So for that I am going to create one more class called D. Okay, one more class called D. Okay. In